We'll see how we go. I'm Brian Marler. I'm from Legalise Vaping Australia. We're a grassroots funded campaign trying to legalise nicotine vapes. So for those of you who don't know what that is, this is a vaporiser. It heats up a liquid that you can then inhale as a vapour, and a lot of people vaporise nicotine as a way to get them to quit smoking tobacco. So it's safer, it filters out all the carcinogens in the tar. In fact, it doesn't create any carcinogens in the tar. But in every state and territory, it's illegal to possess nicotine liquid with fines of up to $45,000 and 2 years in prison, depending on how much you've got. So we've got, people in Australia who have tried every single method under the sun to try and quit smoking. They see the big scary images on packages. They're getting taxed through the nose, paying for smokes. They've tried patches, they've tried gum, they've tried everything that pretty much hasn't worked. And we know from evidence overseas that this works, that in every state and territory, state governments are basically saying, if you possess this, you're a criminal. So that's why we're out here. We're trying to get it legalised. We've actually got a little stall out there with our petition. Please come out and fill it out. If you fill out that petition, it sends a message to your local MP telling you to get out of the way, telling them that you want it legalised. And judging by the support we've had so far, it's been massive out here. So thanks to all of you guys, and really appreciate it. You've probably seen our van. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Legalise Vaping Australia, and throw your support behind us. Does anyone have any questions about the actual campaign or the restrictions around nicotine vaping or the benefits or anything like that?
My son's been vaping for about 5 years.
Yep.
He gets his from America.
Yep.
I don't think he's had any issues here in Australia.
Yeah,
He did get into trouble at Singapore Airport.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a quagmire in that federal law allows people to purchase a 3-month supply of nicotine liquids, but only if they get it online and only if they get it overseas. You can't go to your tobacconist here to buy it. So they go online, they buy stuff that they don't necessarily know what's going into it. They buy the cheapest stuff, usually from China or other countries that produce it cheaper than the US and New Zealand and Canada and the UK and throughout the EU where it's legal. They bring it in here. Customs tend to let it through because they're a federal agency. Sometimes they withhold it. And then in every state and territory, if they're caught possessing this, they face the chance of a cop fining them on the spot. In New South Wales, the fine is $1,100. In Western Australia, it's up to $45,000, depending on what the quantity is. I mean, these are the kinds of dollar amounts that can ruin people's lives. And then on top of that, there's no minimum safety standards. So we want it legalised. You can go to your local tobacconist, and rather than buying the stuff that we know will kill you, that will kill 1 in 3 of people who smoke, you can buy something that removes all the carcinogens and the tar. Anyone else?
What's the reason why it's not legal?
That's a good question.
Is it all about money?
That's a good question. When we've heard reasons from, well, they probably don't want it legal because of the tax revenue they get through tobacco, through to the argument that we always hear is that if we legalise vaping, it'll encourage people who've never smoked and never vaped to go to vaping. But it's been legalised, in the UK, in the EU, New Zealand, Canada, America. None of the evidence that's over there shows that people go from not vaping to vaping. All the evidence shows it takes people from tobacco away from it.
If cigarette addiction is an addiction to nicotine, how does using nicotine in that reduce their addiction to nicotine?
So I would say it wouldn't reduce their addiction to nicotine. The reason that they go to this is because they are addicted to nicotine. They want to get that nicotine. But the only way that they can get it currently that works for them is through tobacco. But this is the option that removes all of those cancer-causing agents. It's shown to be 95% safe according to the UK Royal College of Physicians. This is a UK health department that the UK government funds. This isn't one doctor saying, this is an entire health department saying this is 95% safer than smoking a regular cigarette. So to answer your question on the actual addiction, the reason it needs to be legalised is because people do have that want to get nicotine, but the only way that they can do it in Australia is through a way that harms their body.
So they will never get off nicotine by using this, they just reduce the other side effects.
They reduce the other side effects. There are people that I've been speaking to on the road, and I know this is anecdotal, but they have been weaning themselves off. So they've gone from, I spoke to a guy named Tom in Coffs Harbour who was a truckie, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, went to vaping, and then he weaned himself off nicotine. So he went from 12 down to 6 milligrams, down to 3, and then cut it out completely. And now all he does is vape what's in this, which is a non-nicotine juice, and it just mimics that hand-to-mouth action and that inhaling and exhaling process. So there are people that can work themselves off, but a lot of people have tried to go from tobacco to non-nicotine vapes, and it doesn't work because they still have those nicotine cravings. I think that wraps it up.
That's good.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Brian. Yeah, it's interesting. I had no idea about it. Anyway, it makes sense that it's going to be much healthier.